This weekend, it's Wonder Woman who's bringing excitement to her fans at the movies. It's #1 at the box office, and as Faith Salie tells us, she's carrying on a long superheroine tradition.
It may be considered impolite to reveal a woman's age, but when it's this woman, turning 75 is a wonder. Born in 1941, Wonder Woman, along with her predecessors Superman and Batman, are the only superheroes to be in continuous print since their debut. For many of us, though, it was TV's Lynda Carter who brought Wonder Woman to life.
For a lot of people, when they think of Wonder Woman, they think they see you. How does it feel?
It's bizarre. It's humbling, honestly, particularly after all this time. I don't really think that I'm Wonder Woman, by the way.
Carter says she got the role back in 1975, largely because she looked the part, which was both a blessing and, as one of the show's producers warned her, a curse.
It's like, oh, women are going to be so jealous of you. Well, I said, not a chance. They won't be, because I'm not playing her that way. I want women to want to be me or be my best friend.
And it turns out, providing a role model was exactly the point in creating Wonder Woman way back in 1941. You see, in the face of growing concern that comics were too violent for children, DC Comics publisher Max Gaines turned to noted psychologist and author William Marston for help.
And as the story goes, Marston says, what you need is a female superhero. She'll be essentially a pacifist. I mean, she'll fight for democracy, but she'll be fighting for equal rights for women, and her superpowers will be love and truth and beauty.
Harvard professor Jill Lepore is the author of The Secret History of Wonder Woman.
And Gaines was like, yeah, well, maybe, I guess we could give that a shot. It's very skeptical. And so that's always been Wonder Woman's origin story.
But perhaps the true inspiration behind Marston's fictional Wonder Woman were the real women in his life.
What was hidden from the historical record was the whole Marston family story and the women in his life that egged him on and that created that commitment in Marston's part.
Those women were his wife, Elizabeth Holloway, and his student-turned-mistress, Olive Byrne. They all lived together and raised 4 children under one roof.
That was kept secret by the family for good reason, because they had a sort of scandalous family life.
And get this, the aunt of Marston's mistress was Margaret Sanger. You know, the famed feminist, birth control pioneer, and Planned Parenthood founder. What's more, Marston was also influenced by the suffragist movement he witnessed as a Harvard student in the early 1900s.
American suffragists chained themselves to the gates outside the White House, and Marston was really inspired by this. And
by seeing these women in chains.
By seeing these women and by hearing these stories.
No doubt that's why we see Wonder Woman breaking out of chains in so many of Marston's early comics.
He says she's got to be chained up because she's an allegory for the emancipation of women, and so she has to be chained up so that she can break herself free. No one ever rescues her, she rescues herself.
And that golden lasso that magically forces villains to break down and tell the truth?
You cannot lie. Who are you?
I'm Dr. Heinrich von Klemper.
And you made the clone of Adolf Hitler?
Yes.
No lie. Psychologist Marston was one of the early pioneers of lie detection.
And when we first meet Wonder Woman, she's got a fairly long skirt on.
Actually, it's not a skirt.
As archivist for DC Comics, Benjamin LeClaire takes even Wonder Woman's wardrobe seriously.
It's actually culottes. There was a big debate about this.
That's so not heroic.
Well, no, it's actually heroic. It was Elizabeth Holloway Marston, Mrs. Marston, said, she can't have a skirt. If she's a female superhero, a skirt's going to end up over her head.
That's true.
whatever she was wearing. She was selling 2.5 million comics a month. But after Marston's death in 1947, other writers, all male, took over, and Wonder Woman became a little less wonderful.
The way that Wonder Woman has changed demonstrates what our culture was thinking women should be in each kind of era.
It's what I love about comic books and really all art forms. They're mirrors on where we were in society.
It wasn't until 1972 when women's rights activist and Wonder Woman fan Gloria Steinem put her on the inaugural issue of Ms. Magazine that Wonder Woman got her star-spangled groove back. And now, Wonder Woman is beating up the bad guys and box office records as well.
A battle will never be fair!
Her silver screen debut, starring Israeli actress Gal Gadot, was the biggest opening ever by a female director, Patty Jenkins. Proof that after 75 years of heroics, Wonder Woman's real superpower is the power to inspire.
There is something about the character where in your creative mind for that time in your life where you pretended to be her or whatever the situation was, that it felt like you could fly.